talking to me.
A for effort. A for effort. A for effort.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Stephen.A., you still like yourself on the big screen? That was a good shot.
I do.
Right?
I really do. I love
fun.
myself on the big screen like there in studio. I mean, when I'm on the road, we need to do that more often. But that will require you standing up. And sometimes you want to be seen standing up, and sometimes you don't. So we know it's all about you, Molly. It's all about you.
Okay, yeah. I love being the little ant, and then we just have you larger than life.
With that head, trust me, he ain't a little ant.
Oh, shots fired. I've been nice to you all day, Peanut Head, so just relax.
Hey,
okay, guys. Let's dive into this one, though. They say availability is the best ability, but as far as ability, no one would ever question the talent, heart, or work ethic of Kawhi Leonard, but his availability. That's another story. As round one approaches for the Clippers, Kawhi is not 100% from game one, yet he's committed to play for Team USA in the Paris Olympics. Interesting. All right, Stephen.A., how do you think Clippers fans should feel about him potentially adding extra minutes, not in Clippers uniform?
They should be utterly disgusted. I think that Steve Ballmer should protest. He should use his considerable power to do everything he can to keep Kawhi Leonard away from Olympic competition. Here we are with the Clippers in the playoffs. By the way, with the talent to compete for a championship, on the verge of moving into a new arena. And even though Kawhi Leonard finally played 60-plus games in a season and played 68 games this year, props to him. I never saw it coming, him and Anthony Davis. I mean, I feel like Fred Sanford from Sanford and Son back in the day. Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, honey. I mean, this is the miracle that has happened. Anthony Davis, major props to him. Playing the way that he played, playing 76 games, opening up the season, training camp, talking about how he wanted some of that smoke in Denver, and now he's got it. I expect him to answer the call. I believe in that brother. Proud of the way he's played this year. Kawhi Leonard, a perennial all-star, a superstar talent. We know it, but the problem with him is his availability. Knowing that you have chronic health issues, knowing the amount of work that you have missed. I mean, the man has missed about 48 to 50% of his games over the last 5 or 6 years or so. And then to be in a situation where right now you ain't healthy, you know, you're questionable for the start of the series, after dropping 38 on Phoenix last year and then not even available to play the rest of the playoffs. Knowing that happened, I think they would have won. They'd have beat Phoenix last year if Kawhi Leonard had stayed healthy. But you're not. Knowing that stuff about your health, you're going to participate in Olympic competition? Hell to the no. I'm sorry, that's an investment. The Olympics ain't paying them. If I'm Steve Ballmer, I'm paying them. I'm using every means available to me to derail them. And I had a friend of mine, guys, they just sent me this joke. They live out here. One of my boys lives out here. He sent me this joke about Kawhi Leonard. He said, Clipper fans should be upset. He said, man, this is like people when they said Bobby Brown back in the day, he'd miss the concert. However, he'd show up for the after party. Now, I don't know if that's true about Bobby Brown, but I like the analogy when you're talking about Kawhi Leonard. That's the equivalent of him playing in Olympic competition. You questionable for the playoffs, but you go compete in the Olympics. This is a flight to Paris. You understand? I don't think everybody gonna be having a bed available to him. He'll probably say his knees are hurt from that damn trip, let alone getting on the basketball court. Hell no. There's no way that Clipper fans should feel good about Kawhi Leonard and his questionable availability, especially if he gonna play in the Olympics. Hell no.
All right, you go ahead, Tim.
I thought it was with you. All right, no
Tim,
problem.
you go ahead.
Look, man, I hear everything you're saying, and I understand you're still looking at this, Stephen.A., from a Clippers fan's perspective, and I get it, man. I would be the same way if that were my team. I'd feel the same way. But I'm just going to try to step back here and look at it in a different light. First, look, the timing of this, whatever's going on with him right now, and the lack of availability and this knee inflammation, and we got to wait and see what that's going to be in this series with Dallas. And I think Dallas going to win the series anyway. If he's limited, I think Dallas could maybe win that series of 5 or 6 games. So let's see, because we haven't seen him in a while. Knee inflammation doesn't sound good, so there's a very good chance he's going to be limited again in the postseason. I get it. Clippers fans are going to be upset by that because you got 4 Hall of Famers you expecting to make a run at a championship when you got Kawhi Leonard. I understand that. But truth of the matter is the timing of all of this, by the time we get into the summer, this type of injury, right, he's going to be feeling pretty good. One, So you're basically asking him to turn down something like that? You want him to say no to that? I don't want to do because.
No, I'm saying it should have never been offered.
Okay,
That's what I'm
I hear
saying.
you. Well, that's a whole nother argument to me. Yeah, and we can get into that because there's definitely some other people too, by the way, that you could look at based on where they're at in their career and say they deserve a spot on this team. That we could do a whole show on that. I agree with you on that. But for him, he's saying, it's an honor. Obviously, it's something he wants to do. So I don't expect him to say no to it. And then the last part is this could be light lifting for Kawhi Leonard, man. It's not like he's going to be taxing himself on his team, playing 25, 30 minutes. Nobody on his team should be. He's going to be a guy that's going to be a supplementary part on this. And even if he has an issue in the summer, they can sit him and go with the other 11, and they're going to be just fine. But I don't think Kawhi Leonard's going to, be exerting himself is what I'm saying. So for me, I've got to separate it from, the timing. This is a ways down the road. He's going to be fine at that point. It's a dicey one. I know why Clippers fans will be upset, though.
3 things. 1, this Team USA roster right now is a wish list. I have no idea which of these 12 guys are going to be healthy and recovered and have enough energy when we get to the end of June. Even they know that. It's just a wish list. These are the 12 guys that Team USA wanted. They were their number 1 draft picks. These guys said yes, that's why they're on the roster. Just because he's saying now doesn't mean he's going to be there in July. 2, this is actually kind of good news if you're a Clipper fan, because at least he doesn't believe this injury is serious enough that it's going to keep him out a long period of time. And he obviously knows this is going to go public. He obviously posed for the video with the jersey. He knew everybody was going to see it. I don't think if he felt his knee injury was serious enough that it was going to seriously impact him playing this series that he would do this. 3, and earlier, Stephen A., you downplayed the Olympics. We need Kawhi in the Olympics because this is going to be so hard. We won't talk about it now. We'll talk about it in the summer when the Olympics comes. This is going to be the most competitive and difficult international basketball tournament in the history of sport. That's all I'm going to say about it. And I think if you're a Clipper fan, you should indeed expect Kawhi Leonard to be ready to go at the beginning of this weekend.
That debunks what Tim said. I mean, they shouldn't play more than 20, 25 minutes. Excuse me, if the competition's going to be that tough, then it calls for your best dudes to be out there and expend.
Be advised, hostile Predator missile inbound. XS-1 Goliath is ready. Stealth chopper awaiting orders. Stealth chopper inbound.
VTOL awaiting orders.